first?
You.
You're on the left, so you should really.
All right, okay, I'll go first.
Okay, so we're now live. So Phil and Mike, you've been at the CIPD L and D show for 2 days. You're blogging away. We're nearly at the end. Someone's joined the call.
Nice.
Welcome.
Hi.
So, who wants to kick off? Tell us, firstly, we're going to look at highlights, and then we're going to look at lowlights, right? So, highlights first. Phil, do you want to go first?
Highlights first then is the quality of the speakers in the conference sessions has been good, but more importantly, the sessions on the exhibition floor, which sometimes can be a bit hit and miss, have been better this year. So the introduction of the Ignite sessions that happened last night and today were really good and better. That's my highlights.
Highlights for me, I think, is the passion for people that are here, both the speakers, participants, and people out on the exhibition floor. And there's a lot of energy here, and for me, that's one of the biggest highlights.
Okay, so lowlights. Have there been any? What are they?
So the lowlights for me is if I hear the term VUCA again, I may stab myself in the eye. But anyway, that's because I get the term just seems very popular, and I'm not sure that people really understand what it is, or actually if it's a real thing in terms of, the world the world has been constantly changing. I don't understand why everything is all of a sudden VUCA. I don't get that. Mike?
I think for me it's similar, but it's about adding jargon to almost anything and everything, whether it be VUCA, sometimes about neuroscience. Yeah. We seem to be sticking fancy labels on things, and that frustrates the hell out of me, because a lot of the time people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Come on, is that it?
What else do you want?
Okay. So for those that aren't here,
yeah,
what would you be walking at? What would people be leaving with that's really, really interesting and useful in terms of putting some stuff into action when they leave this conference? What kinds of things have you heard that you think, actually, I could turn that into something useful and actionable?
So, even though sometimes the terms may be used inappropriately or without the depth of understanding, what I am seeing a lot of is people introducing more evidence-based content in L&D activity. So whether that be based around positive psychology, or whether it be based around elements of neuroscience, or whether it be based around elements of behavioural science, I think people are waking up to this idea that just because I hear somebody say, people have a visual, auditory and kinesthetic preference, therefore that means that everybody learns in a particular way. I think we're moving away from myths and more to evidence-based stuff. And and by that I mean science isn't fact, but we're using evidence more in what we're doing, which I think is a good thing.
I think a lot of people are leaving with a reinforcement that the problems that they've got happening in their business is the same as a lot of the speakers. A lot of speakers being really honest about some of the challenges that they've had, and they've shared some of the techniques, some of the approaches that they've used to start to get over those barriers. And I think that's really refreshing. I think most of us in the world of L&D have roughly the same problems. There's stakeholder engagement challenges, there are budget challenges, there are time pressure challenges, and we all need to find slightly different ways of helping us to resolve those issues. And I think hearing that other companies are starting to make some headrows and starting to be honest about that, I think is a real big takeaway.
Chaps, thank you for first Periscope experience.
Thank you, Mr. Cousins.
And thank you for the Twitter sphere for having a look. All right. Cheers.
Thanks.
Now I get to stop them.